Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new altcoin update, alt-season update, whatever it is you want to call this. But I try to make these updates twice a week, talking about the general altcoin market, right? So I always say, and I'll repeat that in this video as well. Like at this point of time, if you take a look at the structure both for Bitcoin and for altcoins, it's bullish, right? So even though at this point of time, altcoins in general are in a bit of a tricky position where we are below resistance, but not close enough to support, in my opinion, to get a long position or more spot positions in. Even though that's the case, I would still say that looking for longs on altcoins is still the best decision, right? So that's my general bias. That's also in line with the structure, which we'll talk about in a moment. But that is we're talking about altcoins in general, right? Now, let's get right into it. If you're interested in that, by the way, consider subscribing, and thank you very much for those of you who follow these videos. I personally think these are very valuable videos, but that's obviously, I'm a little bit biased. And if you have any feedback, anything, let me know down in the comments and in the Telegram and the Discord, as always as well. But for now, let's get right into it. Now, talking about the short term, we have some major news coming out today. With the FOMC minutes, all right? So that's later tonight. That's at 7 p.m. UTC. That matters quite a lot for the monetary policy of the US, which in turn matters a lot for equities and risk on assets such as altcoins, right? So that is something, look, ultimately what effect this will have, it's very difficult to say because it depends on the FOMC minutes. I'm leaning towards a little bit bullish. Which is also in line with the structure for altcoins, but that's, well, if you want to know more about that, check out my Bitcoin video. I don't think it makes sense to talk about that all over again in this video, but be aware of that. What that means is that volume is probably going to be quite low today, volatility quite high, and as you can see, a lot of altcoins right here are very correlated to Bitcoin. So that's for today, maybe the rest of the week as well, because we have some important data coming out on Friday and Thursday as well. But just be wary of that. But all right, talking about altcoins. So then we're talking about others, which is the total crypto market cap excluding the top 10 cryptos. And we're talking about the total 3, which is the same idea, but then excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, both of which, zooming out on the daily time frame, are in uptrends. All right, and you can see this green area right here. That is my main buy area. That is where I would like to buy. There we have a major high time frame support level. We have the 90-day rolling VWAP. We have the trend band itself, which is that red line right there, which shifted towards support right here, the 22nd of April. But ultimately, that is a bullish structure, right? And if we're taking a look at US equities, if we're taking a look at Bitcoin, I would expect this to continue, right? So then ultimately the structure is still bullish, which is also why I told you, I think you should still look for longs on altcoins. But my preferred buy area, and the same is true, by the way, for total 3, but I prefer to look at others a little bit more. You can see total 3 also it's looking very, very similar. But others, in my opinion, for most altcoins is the better gauge, is the better index, because it excludes those higher market cap coins, right? Which are very often not even referred to anymore as altcoins. Like, is Solana an altcoin? Yes. But does it really work like an altcoin? No, in my opinion, not at least. But that brings us to the problem we have, and that is that we are looking for longs and buys on altcoins. But then you can see that we still have this massive resistance level here at 285, which I would prefer, and then we'll get to that in a moment. And then we have this major support level where I would buy, but that's a little bit lower. So then my two scenarios in which I would buy altcoins is either if we hit that support level right here, or if we break above the main resistance. And right now we're in the middle of that. So it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky to get into spot positions. Like I said, my bias is still very, very, very much bullish. And I think you should keep an eye on the volume, for example, like Uniswap today, Wallet Connect, but also something like Ton, and something like B3. Those are all altcoins that have rallied today, even though you will not see that in the others graph. And therefore, looking at others right now is good. But I would wait with the general altcoin, with the normal altcoin that you have been looking at for the last year. I would wait for either a breakout or a drop down into the main support level. And then focus on the high momentum, high volume altcoins that you perhaps did not know about, but that actually have the momentum to move independently from the general market. that is what I would say is wisdom. But that's obviously my take on the markets as well. If you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.